Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Welcome to ISKCON of Silicon Valley. We're so happy you're here, and I'm happy to be here with you. And first, I'd like to introduce my very dear friends, Bhagavata Shrai Prabhu and Sarvamangala, who are sitting next to Nirkula, and they just flew in from London. They're here to stay for a couple of weeks to, pardon? Or more. It could be months, actually, or even years. So they've been practicing Krishna consciousness for more than 50 years together, and very successful in teaching Krishna consciousness around the world. They are vanaprasthas. They have no permanent place of residence. They just travel around the world and preach Krishna consciousness, which they do very expertly. So please try to take advantage of their association while they're here. That's what Mukaravinda and Ananga are doing by hosting them in their house. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Welcome. Thank you very much for being here. Hare Krishna. Yes, for being. It's a good verb. It means that which remains. When you look at the etymology of to be, it traces back to a word that means something that remains. When everything else moves on, we're still here. And if you have a sense that things are moving on without you, that's really what's happening. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Nasato vidite bhavo, nabhavo vidite sata, ubayorapi yishtontas tvanayos tattvadarshipi. Those who have corrected their vision can see that the material world's always moving, but we're steady. It's only when I identify myself with the things of this world and think that they are part of me, they're vital for my happiness, that things have to be the way I planned them. Any of this ringing a bell? Or should I keep going until I hit one? That I control everything in my environment. I'd like it to go the way I'd like it to go. Then there's a sense of dread because things move on. Those things that we're attached to. So in Krishna consciousness, we learn that we're happy just by being with Krishna, and Krishna's always with us. And all we have to do, as the Bhagavatam says, is turn our attention back to Krishna. In fact, in a famous verse from the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, one of the Nava Yogendras, there are 9 sons out of 100 of Bharat Maharaj, who was the king, after who the continent of India is named, said, Bhayam dvitiya abhini beshata syad, that fear arises when we have this misconception that I'm separate from Krishna and that my interests are separate from Krishna. And then he says that tanmayatam buddha abhajatam bhakyaika yesha gurudeva tatma. You can reverse that feeling of dread and fear by becoming more connected with Krishna on a regular basis and just remembering that he's our friend, we're connected with him, and everything about Krishna is good. So that's what we do here. We just sing about Krishna, don't we? Sometimes. And then we have festivals based on the things that Krishna said and did. Like, what's an example of that? I can't understand anything. What? Janmashtami is a big one, right? People come here to see Krishna on his birthday. That's a good idea, right? Any other good ideas? Govardhan Puja? What happened on that day? Krishna lifted a hill, so we have a festival around that. Any other festivals? Gita Jayanti, what happened then? Krishna spoke something. It's like, okay, let's have a festival and listen to what he said. That's how good Krishna is. And so Krishna consciousness is all happiness and goodness. And when we forget about how good Krishna is and how happy we are when we're connected to him, then we suddenly feel a sense that we're losing ourselves. We have some possession, and we lose it, and then we feel, oh, I'm lost. But we're never lost. That's why enlightened people tend to give their things away to Krishna. Because first of all, they already belong to Krishna. And second of all, when you officially give them to Krishna, then you're not in anxiety about them anymore. You can sign them over. You can still use them. It works in tax law also. If you get a charitable remainder trust, you sign everything over to a charity and say, it's all yours. And as soon as I'm gone, you can have the whole thing. While I'm here, you just let me use part of it. And the government won't tax you because you already signed it over. So you can do that with your life also and just say, yeah, it's not my body, but I'll use it for Krishna vigorously. And these are not my possessions, but I'll use them. Put Vaishnavas in my house. And if you use your house for Krishna, then it's not a burden. Nothing becomes a burden. Everything becomes joyful. How's that sound for a preamble to a Sunday program? It's a family program. Should be upbeat and lively, right? Feel better? Okay. Oh, good. Let's try singing a little. This Kirtan was so nice when I walked in. Thank you very much, Vaisesika. It was beautiful. And it's a nice environment when you come into singing. So let's just do it a little more. And then I have a special presentation for you today called, I think it's called The 5 Pillars to Freedom. Okay? All right. So let's try singing. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktavrinya Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. What'll make me feel better, you think, up here? I need a Gita. What's it take to get a Bhagavad Gita here in a Hare Krishna temple? So, principles are helpful as the world comes unhinged so easily, right? Say yes. Yes. And thank you. And if we have principles to live by, then even though the world's becoming seemingly unhinged, we can remain hinged to Krishna. That's what yoga means, to be hinged. So I'm going to present 5 ideas called the 5 pillars to freedom. How do you like that artwork up there? Not very much, I guess. It's really beautiful. Okay, let's look at it. I'm in control now, right? Is it down or up? Down means forward, right? That's crazy. Okay, here we go. The first one is program your life or it will be programmed for you. There's a way Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita. Maya dyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanina konteya jagad viparivartate daivahi esha gunami mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante maya metam taranti tribir gunamayer bhaver ebi sarvamidam jagat mohitam nabijanati mame bhya paramaviyam, etc. There are many verses in the Bhagavad Gita that describe the ways in which the material nature has stringent laws. It sounds almost cliche, but stringent laws that we have to conform to. And if we break the laws, then we'll find ourselves inconvenienced. How's that? Better for a family show. And there is a guidebook that tells how to preemptively program our life so that we're not subjected to the normal laws of the material universe, which don't, although they're stringent laws and although they're divine laws, they still don't work out very well for us. They don't work in our advantage that much because, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Abrahma bhuvana loka punar avartino arjuna mamu petyatu konteya punar janma navidyate. The laws we're subjected to are unnatural for us in a sense because they subject us to birth, death, old age, and disease. And it's true everywhere in the material world. Therefore, Krishna gives us a way to preemptively, as I said, program our life. He says that there are regulative principles of freedom. There are principles of freedom. And he says that if you attend to these in your life willingly, voluntarily, then you can reprogram yourself for being above the programming of the material world. So the first of the principles is that be very deliberate about what you put into your body, mind, and spirit. Deliberate means that you think about it ahead of time and you decide, what will this do to me? What effect will it have on me? And what kinds of programs am I subjecting myself to by the things I do to my body and for my mind? And what am I doing, by the way, for my spirit? So programming is important. What does program mean anyway? I have a research department look it up. Little help. Little help on aisle 1, please. Red mic is not Red means dead.
Program means it can be a noun, which means a set of related measures.
Can you articulate like you're on stage about to do a Shakespearean play?
Okay. Program is a noun, and it can mean a set of related measures or activities with a particular...
A set of related measures or activities.
With a particular long-term aim.
With a particular long-term... That's worth the price of admission today, right? You don't want your money back now. So say that again. Program. We're talking about programming our lives. We're human beings. Check and see if you're a human. I don't know how that helps, but check. Let's hear it again.
Program, a set of related measures or activities with a particular long-term aim.
A long-term aim. And you're doing these, it's a set of particular measures with a long-term aim, right? So programming for your life. So for instance, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes how there's modalities working in this world. And you can program yourself to the mode of ignorance. If you want to do that, you find a mode of ignorance programmer. It's hard work, but somebody's got to do it. What is a mode of ignorance programmer? It's a person who sits in the park and they drink alcohol of some kind, and then maybe throw in some tobacco and a nonchalantness about working or doing anything for that matter besides drinking, falling down, getting back up, and getting enough to drink again. So how would you, if you wanted to program yourself in that way, what would you do? You go find the programmer. Say, excuse me, could you show me how to do that? And yeah, sit down. Here's what you do. You just drink this, and then you smoke that, and then you just fall down, and then wake up later, and then scrounge some money, and then start over again. And that's how you do it. And it takes a little practice, but somebody will pick it up, and you'll see. If you drive around San Francisco, a few people have picked up the principle, how to do that. And so you just need a little help. And then if you want to get programmed in the mode of passion, where do you go? Stanford. You go to Stanford or, pick any place, and they'll say, all right, Tiger, get in here. Listen, little fella, you can definitely exploit this world. All you got to do is line everything up. Just put it all in order and get the right investments and everything. You just go for it. And then you get programmed like that. And how about mode of goodness? Where are you going to go? Where? You come in ISV? Okay. Yeah, you find somebody that has learned to control their senses. They don't become angry. They learned the power of being truthful, speaking truth. They're clean, and so forth. They eat food. What kind of food they eat? Rainbow diet. Everything fresh. And then you get around them for a little while. Where do you go for that? Maybe you find a retreat center somewhere, and you go there for a while, and you get some massages, and you're like, just calm down. It's okay. You're not a human doing. You're a human being. And then it's like you come back, and it's like, yeah, okay, I'm programmed. I feel a little calmer now, and I'm not so upset. And if you want to rise above all the programming of the modes of material nature, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mamcha yo vyabhicharina bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitaitam brahma puyaya kalpate. If you learn how to do devotional service, beginning with Shravanam Kirtanam, like we're doing in here, we just hear, chant, remember Krishna, have festivals, eat food after Krishna tastes it, and then you rise above all the programming of the material world. So you have to program your life, or it'll be programmed for you. And Krishna says, Raga dvesho vimuktaistu vishan indriyaishcharan atmavasharavate atma prasadam marigachati. If you take this path to follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita, he's saying, then what will happen is you'll get free. And prasadam adhigashati. Prasadam means grace. There'll be an element in your life that you can't get anywhere else. You can't get it from the mode of ignorance. People try to get a little nectar from intoxication. It comes for a few seconds and they feel like, and then after a while, and then in the mode of passion, they think they got it. They think they got it, but then it's like, yeah, but not quite. It's not quite there. A little more. That's all I need. Just one more zero on the end of that. If I could put one more zero, like a million's not enough. It should be 1 billion. That requires a couple more. But still, it doesn't matter. You get 1 billion, it's like, well, that guy's got like 50 billion. So that once I get there, I'll be happy. And then there's this way that I'm always being enticed to the next level, but I never get there. In the mode of goodness, I'm there, but then I get knocked off my throne. Because I'm peaceful, I'm the one who controls the senses, then someone cuts off in traffic, and then suddenly the mode of passion comes back in again, the mode of ignorance. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, if you want to rise above all that, you have to have a set of measures. You guys are so smart, you remember everything. Okay, a set of measures or activities. You got to have activities, right? To reprogram yourself that have a long-term goal. Bhagavatam starts off with the goal in mind. Stephen Covey, start with the end in mind. He asks the question beginning, what's the goal? He said, remember Narayan when you die. Ante Narayana Smriti. That's what your whole life's about, he says. Forget all the other stuff. Just do it. Be inventive. Get it done. Don't worry about it. It's all going to go on anyway, but try to remember Narayan at the time of death. Keep the end in mind. And there's a program for that. It's called being a sadhu. Even if you're a grahastha, you live in a house and it can be a nice house, it doesn't matter. You can still have that end in mind and you can still have this program in your house. And Prabhupada taught how to do that. So what do you think about the first pillar for freedom? Program your life or it'll be programmed for you. You want somebody else to program your life? Say no. Come on. You got to work with me on these. So what do you think about it? Program or be programmed? Do you want to expound a little more why you feel that way? No? Yes. Shri Madhava.
So everyone, consciously or subconsciously, they are actually working for some desire, for some goal. So if we don't program our life to what we desire, then someone else will exploit us to program our life for their desire. And we'll feel frustrated because our desires are not getting accomplished.
Okay. So let's give an example. You're saving money, and then one of your 52 cousins calls and says, Uncle Dilip needs a new lung. And you're the only one in the family with money, so you're going to have to pay for it. And there went your savings plan. But if you gave it all to Krishna on Janmashtami, when one of your 52 cousins calls and says, Uncle Dilip needs a new kidney, you're the only one in the family with money. He said, I was the only one in the family. I gave it all to Krishna. It's all gone. It's at the temple. So if we plan ahead to make sure that everything's in the right account, then, of course, we can always help our cousins, right? There's no harm in that. What else? Yes, Suryakund.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, this also reminds me of some time ago you gave the program, it's initiative and control. If your initiative is more, you'll have a control on things. If initiative is less, everything else will control you.
Can you explain that a little more? I didn't quite get it.
So,
if you initiate control.
if you are, if I mean, initiate and control. If you, the initiation is more. If you initiate towards things,
I mean, if it was your idea to start with.
Yeah, right. If you take initiative to, about certain things, whatever you plan to do, if the initiative is better, you will have better control on things. For the other ways that the initiative is less, other things would control you.
Okay, that's important because sometimes people think in spiritual life you don't have much initiative, you just become calm and you don't consider anything. But there's a way in which we have more initiative when we have a sense that there's work for maintaining myself in the material world, which has to be done and we should do it expertly. But at the same time, my main objective is to become Krishna conscious. And if we take initiative to work towards that and we gain momentum in doing that, then we're much better off. And that leads to a life which is productive. In the Sri Upanishad Mantra 11, it says, Vidyam cha yas tadvedobhayam saha. You have to work in the material world side by side. The material world's going on. You can't get left behind. You have to do your duty. But at the same time, you have to simultaneously develop yourself spiritually. And side by side, if you do those two things, then you'll attain the ultimate result of life, the ultimate goal of life. Okay, let's see the next slide. Okay, I'll do that for you. Next one is design the ideal soundtrack for your life. That sounds like fun, right? Say yes. Yes. Yeah, would you like to design the ideal soundtrack for your life? And what would that sound like, the ideal soundtrack? First, let's talk what a soundtrack is. Did you ever go to the movies? Say yes. Yes. Bollywood. So, does Bollywood have a soundtrack? That sounds like a thing where someone said, did you lose your keys? Does Bollywood have a soundtrack? There's a way that every motion picture has a soundtrack so that you understand the mood. And anyone can understand your mood in life by examining the soundtrack you have. They swing by any time of the day or night and listen to what you're listening to. They'll get an understanding for what your level of consciousness is, right? Is that good? He laughed. Yeah, somebody swings by and you're tuned into some funny thing, then I might think, oh yeah, that's what the person's resonating with. So this is the advice of the Bhagavatam, that we should be in tune to the sounds of the spiritual world. And if we upgrade our soundtrack, find the ideal soundtrack, and we make sure that's what's going on throughout our environment, in our minds, and also in our cars. What about in your car? Does that count? Say yes. Yes. Yeah, your car counts. In fact, sometimes it's called a university on wheels, but it can be a little temple where you have a beautiful soundtrack, right? And then what about your house? That's the place where you just watch TV all day, right? Say no. So if you got random sounds coming in that somebody else decided on and they just pipe right into your house, they go in your ear, your mind, your soundtrack may disturb your mind in some way. Did you ever have that happen? Yeah, somebody's talking at you on the television, and there's a sense that, boy, I really don't like this guy. And then it might occur to you like, well, why do you have him on then? Did you ever think of that? That's why it says, if you don't like what you're being subjected to, change the subject. Yeah, you don't like what people are saying, and you don't like, oh, I hate that when that happens. And then you just say, okay, well, let's change the subject. And if you're preoccupied with a different soundtrack, with transcendental sound, it's really hard for other sounds to get in. When people see that you're in bhajan somewhere, they generally don't bring up the news and things like that. Right? Yeah. So let's just reflect on this. Just want to hear what you think of it. Practical? Is it practical? I'm almost forcing you to say that, but let's hear what you have to say. What do you think? Could you do this? Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Soundtrack is an absolute perfect thing that you mentioned. At least what I see is in our daily lives these days with the YouTube shorts and things like that coming up. So they keep subjecting us to whatever they want us to watch. But the good thing about artificial intelligence, or which is driving all of this thing, is there is a small button there which says not interested in this subject. Then you can do that. Then that does not come back. And what you watch, maybe if you watch Kirtan, then it keeps getting programmed.
And it comes more.
The
algorithm changes. Yeah, that's a good point. It's like that in our lives in general. And that's how Krishna's very intelligently rigged the universe. Maybe you should use the word rigged. It's been overused lately. There's a way in which the universe is organized so that we get back whatever we put into it. And we talk about karma, but we can notice it in very subtle ways. And especially nowadays, as it's demonstrated before our eyes through these AI algorithms, we can see how it comes back to us. One more about sound and changing the soundtrack of your life. Yes?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, talking about the soundtrack, how you can control the soundtrack entering your life. What about circumstances when you have no control? For example, you're working at a workplace. Maybe you have a toxic environment and you have to work because you have to earn. Or what about at schools where kids go, like in public schools, kids have to go. You cannot keep them at home. They hear so many things. Maybe at home you play Kirtan and everything, but when they are with their peers, they hear about so many other things.
Yeah.
How do we channel the right soundtrack for the kids?
Load up while you can. You download as much sound as you can when you're in there. And the beauty of transcendental sound is it's transformative. Shrinvatam svakata Krishna punya shravana kirtana. Hridyantaksto hibadrani vidudonti saritsatam. There's this way in which it purifies your heart, but not just while you're doing it, even after you stop listening to it. Then when you hear other sounds, you relate them to Krishna even. I remember being on book distribution in UK. We were on traveling Sankirtan, and we went into a shopping area, and I heard a song on the sound system there. It was from the late 60s maybe, and the lyrics caught my ear. It was a pop song, but then it reminded me of Krishna because I had been hearing and chanting earlier. So you want me to sing you the song, right? You didn't really, but I brought it up. So it went, you are everything, and everything is you. You all know that. That's amazing. So I was thinking, yeah, that's Bhagavad Gita. Matak paratanam nanyat kinchadasti dhananjaya. And because I was so used to hearing transcendental sound and seeing things in relationship to Krishna, when I heard that, it didn't really disturb me. And also, I've just sharing my own experiences that transcendental sound is so nice. We like chanting Hare Krishna. I sing so many of the same tunes over and over again. And I was just thinking when I was singing that last tune, first time I heard it, I was at Niagara Falls. I went up to Canada and I was jet lagged and I fell asleep. I took a nap, actually, in the next room, and the devotees were starting to have kirtan, and I heard that sound when I was waking up, the sound of that kirtan, and it was so sublime. I just could never get it out of my head, and I still can't now. And no matter how many times I sing that, I feel happy. And I was just thinking, while I was singing that, this never gets old. And there's a way that we're fortified by transcendental sound. So even when we go out into the world's environments where there's all types of sounds, they don't penetrate like they would before. In fact, oftentimes sounds and the kinds of things people are saying seem ludicrous and absurd even. Like sometimes when we're on the airplane, they have these annoying TV sets right on the back of the last person, the person in front of me. And then the control panel's right where I put my elbow. So no matter how many times I turn it off, because my elbow's there, all of a sudden I look and it's back on again. And the kinds of loops they show, because they show you the same loop to torture you until you pay for the program. And every time I look at it, I think, this is so stupid. It becomes kind of an annoyance. So transcendental sound fortifies us. It helps us. So there are sounds from the spiritual world. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught, if you sing Hare Krishna and listen to the sound of the Hare Krishna and you enjoy that in the company of devotees, then the sound goes in you, it purifies your heart, and then you see the world in a new way. And you don't get caught up the way you got caught up before. Let's hear a verse from the 2nd chapter of the Bhagavatam about that. Yes? Quote the verse.
The verse that came to my mind was Pravistra Karna Randrena Swana.
That's not from the 2nd chapter. That's from the 2nd canto.
Canto. Sorry.
Today is Get the 34 days. So you got to give us a verse from there. Starts with a V, at least the one I'm thinking of. In other words, when you hear transcendental sound, you do devotional service, then you naturally get knowledge and detachment. I'll give him a chance. He knows it. Go ahead, say it. In the microphone. Are you recording what everyone's doing? She's going to be testing us later. Okay, go ahead.
Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janyat Aisu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayada Hetukam.
Yay, 20 points. Yeah. Okay, say the other verse too, because it's so beautiful.
Yeah, so this was in the 2nd canto, 8th chapter, I think 5th verse. So this is the Pravistra Karna Randrena Swanam Bhava Saroruham Dunoti Shamalam Krishna Shalilasya Yata Shilam. And the reason I was thinking about this verse is we talked about the material sounds, right? They almost always get us into attachment. But this one talks about where the hearing is so powerful that, Krishna can enter into ears and cleanse everything that is in our heart, unwanted.
That's so nice. So that's a plus for hearing transcendental sound. Krishna then takes residence in your heart. He's already there, but it becomes manifest very obviously and fully. And then we develop our relationship with him through that. And he protects us. So before I do the other few slides, let's sing a little bit more. I want to sing a new raga that we learned last week. Okay? Just a little bit, just because we're talking about sound. And then when you add it to this, the element of raga to it, it becomes extremely sublime. This is called Purya. Daneshwari, Purya Daneshwari. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. That's a raga that you're supposed to sing at night, because everything's going down. Sun's going down. We're going down. But when you sing Hare Krishna and anything, you mix it in with the rest of your life. Whatever else is going down, you're going up, because it connects to Krishna, and you remember everything in relationship to Him. So I have a few more slides and principles. Welcome everybody who just walked in. I hope you're comfortable. Do we need to move up? Yes. Everybody move up by 7.2 inches. 1, 2, 3, go. We've fit as many as 12,000 people in this room, so please make do. We'd also like to welcome everyone on the internet, 93 people attending at the moment. Please welcome them, say Hare Krishna. What'd you think of the raga? I only have one problem with it. It's too nice. Okay, a couple more principles. These are practical, right? Anybody can do this. Next one is commit to making incremental improvements, voluntary life improvements. So decide ahead of time what you deem to be an improvement. Don't accept the status quo. You don't have to. You're a human being. Check again if you're human. Human check. Look at the person next to you. Reassure them, you're human. You can do this. So, if you're a human, you can make preemptive choices. You don't have to go for the regular program. You can decide, what do I want to improve in my life? And if you make it a goal, make preemptive choices based on sound knowledge and guidance. Do your homework. Decide what's good for you. What's the improvement, for instance? Is there any information nowadays, let's say on YouTube, about how to improve your diet? Yes. Not much though, right? There's a tsunami of information out there about everything on YouTube. And then they can tell you what's the best, or you find an authoritative source and decide what improvements are you going to make, and then do it voluntarily. And then do what you can do now voluntarily before it's done unto you. Because if you don't take the initiative, who was that who said that? Surya Kun? See? You don't take the initiative, then somebody else will come in and hand you a Snickers bar. You ever heard of Snickers? Come on, only 3 people? Yes. All right, you can't eat those. So, but here's what you can do. I'd like everyone to say Snicker 3 times. Say it 5 times. Snicker, Snicker, Krishna, 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 Krishna. You can't help it. It's just like Valmiki Muni when Narada told him. He said, you chant Rama. And he said, I can't chant Rama. I'm too sinful. He said, chant Mara. That means death. Mara, Mara, Rama, Rama. Now you try Snicker. Snicker, 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 Snicker. So that's some sound advice. So commit to making incremental improvements. Incremental means start where you are now and just take little steps. You'll be a happy human because you know you're making progress in the right direction. Okay, I'm controlling the screen, so here we go. Next is cultivate habit patterns that take you toward your goal, not away from them. Habit, a settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. So the way we start habits is we decide which way we're going to go, and then we apply it a little bit at a time. It's so hard, isn't it? Say yes. Yes. Makes me feel better. So when you apply it a little bit every day and you keep trying, lo and behold, remember the book? No, you probably didn't have it. But when I was a kid, my mother read me a book called The Little Engine That Could. Did you ever hear it? It was a little engine. Who said yes? You heard it? All right. They're still reading that book. Can you tell us about it? Give her the mic. This is practically Shastra.
It's about an engine who couldn't go up a hill, and then people told him he couldn't, but then at the very end of the book, he's able to go up the hill.
How did he have a mantra?
No.
Yeah, he had a mantra. I think I can.
I think I can.
He said, I think I can, I think I can, I think, come on, try it. I think I can, I think I can. And so that's the chin, 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 and we went up the hill. So a little bit at a time, you can develop your habits, and they'll take you in the right direction. They'll serve you instead of degrading. Next is take responsibility for refining your desires. That's an interesting one, if I do say so myself. The world responds to our desires. So if you don't like what you're getting, change your desires. And that's something to look at and work on. What am I desiring? So Prabhupada mentions this in one of his purports. He said, don't get attached to unnecessary necessities. Unnecessary necessities. Oh, yeah, I have to have this. It's so easy to save yourself a trip to the store, isn't it? You just go like, yeah, I don't need that. Right? Just say, I don't need that. And then instead of going online, you think you're going to go look on for a pair of mittens or something like that. And not here in California. Some socks. And then next thing you know, 3 hours later, you're watching something, you forgot how you got there. It's easier just to say, yeah, I don't need any socks, I'll just go barefoot. Some of you got that. Okay. So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram. Who could say what the 5 pillars are? Okay, just one at a time. Malini's ready to go for it.
Program or be programmed.
And then give one verse that goes with it from the Shastra, with each one, a unique verse that we haven't heard yet. Hopefully from the 2nd chapter of the Bhagavatam, Divinity and Divine Service. Program or be programmed. You can be inventive. Stuff from Rajas Tamayiti or something like that. Any suggestions, shout-outs? Huh? Tada Rajas Tamo Bhava.
Okay. Tada Rajas Tamo Bhava Kamalobhadayasche Cheta Etir Anavidam Sitam Sattve Prasidati.
Okay, can you explain that just really quick?
Once the effects of once Rajas is removed from your heart, then you will be established in the mode of goodness.
Okay. Do you want to do all 5 or do you want to pass it around? You give it to somebody unexpectedly and they have to say the second one. Just hand it off. Who's it go? Oh, to your daughter. Okay. Oh, okay. Mukaravinda saved the day.
And I think designing your soundtrack.
Design your soundtrack for 500. Let's check it. Yes, 500 points. Haribol. Give a verse from Divinity and Divine Service.
Design your Sunvatam Swa Katha Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtana Hidyantasto Bhadrani Vidunoti Suhit Satam. So just by hearing the Krishna Katha itself is the most pious activity, and it Hidyan, and whatever is the undesirable thing, unwanted thing is there, they all get removed by hearing Krishna Katha.
So would you say that Krishna Katha and Kirtan is a good soundtrack for your life?
Definitely.
Haribol. Okay, who are you going to pass it to? I think Gita Priya. What's the 3rd principle?
Is it commitment?
Call a friend.
Is it commit to making incremental improvements?
It's commit to making a friend for 500. Give her a hand. Give a verse from the 2nd chapter of the Bhagavatam that is parallel with that idea. Commit to making incremental improvements. If anybody can think of it, think really hard, and she'll be able to pick it up. You got one? Call a friend.
That verse, I think it might be the same one, by attending classes on Srimad Bhagavatam and rendering service to
Bhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Finish it.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishiki.
Can you explain it a little bit?
So an example of a voluntary life improvement can be attending classes on the Bhagavatam and rendering service. That shows someone's commitment to improve.
And there is a sense of it being incremental also. In that whole section, there's a way that it's Nashta Prayesho Bhadrasho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. It's describing step by step. It's almost, when the heart's almost completely pure, it describes there. So you're making progression incrementally. Very good. Let's try this again. It's getting more and more fun. Who are you going to pass it to? Catch somebody unawares. Oh, look at Part. He's sitting back there hoping he doesn't get it. Go ahead. What's the next one, Part? What's the next principle? Call a friend. Call a friend.
Cultivate habit patterns.
Really? Wow, you guys are amazing. That's 1,600 on SAT for that one. Okay. Give us a verse from Divinity and Divine Service that's parallel to that idea.
Tasmadekena manasa Bhagavan tam
Sattvatam Pati
Sattvata pratim Chetaitir
Shrotavya
Shortavya
Kirtitavyascha
Divyan Purya
Jascha Nityada. So ask whoever told you that verse to support it. Go ahead. Why did you suggest that verse?
The word one-pointed attention stuck out to me. Tasmad ekena manasa. And so if we want to cultivate habit patterns that will take us forward, we need to have one-pointed attention on the goal, the end goal.
That works for me. And Avantika had even more. I saw her hand going up.
I was just remembering that Stephen Covey quote you quoted, which was keep the end in mind. And Tasmadekena Manasa shows that same example of keeping your attention fixed on the goal.
Very good. Very good. Is there any more? Pass this one? Okay. Shraddha wants the mic. Give her a mic for the back in 7 seconds or less, or your money back from today's class.
So I was going to quote the 12th verse, Tat Shadadhana Munya Gana Vairagya Yuktya Paschanti Atmani Atmana Bhakta Shuta Grihitya. So in the previous verse they describe Bhagwan, and then so here they are saying they're getting into the habit of reading from the Shastras, and through that habit they will realize the Lord.
That's really good, yeah, because that one's really a touch. Shadadhana Munayo, you have to be thoughtful. Touch Shadadhana, you have to be dedicated to hearing, develop that habit. Shadadhana Munayo Jnana Vairagya Yuktaya Pashantya Mani Chatmana Bhakta Shuta Grihitaya. That you can't make advancement, it's saying, unless you develop this habit of taking shelter of the Shrutis and the Smritis and what? And the Puranas. Very essential to do all these things. Okay, is there any more? Yes. Sukhi Bhakta. Hare Krishna.
Haribol. The verse that came to my mind is from the 11th canto, chapter 20, verse 21. It's Eshavai Paramo Yogo Manasa Sangraha Smritaha Hriya Gyatvam Anvichan Dam Yasyevar Vato Muhu. Says, as an expert horseman desiring to tame a headstrong horse, first lets the horse have his way for a moment, and then, pulling the reins, gradually places the horse on the desired path. Similarly, the supreme yoga process is that by which one carefully observes the movements and desires of the mind and gradually brings them under full control.
That's really good. It reminds me of the last one, too, of refining your desires. Thank you. Excellent. Okay, turn to somebody next to you and tell them one thing you're taking away from our time together in the last hour and almost a half. But be quick, because we only have 5 minutes. Meet somebody next to you. Introduce yourself. Be friendly now. And tell them one thing that you're taking away from this class. Okay, 10 more seconds. Five seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hare Krishna. It's too much fun, right? Don't you hate being with nice people who have good ideas? So, incremental improvements. Bart was saying he appreciated the idea that you can always improve in devotional service. It doesn't become stagnant, and therefore it's reasonable to set goals to incrementally improve yourself, because you can always get better. You can always refine more, right? What's one other thing that you heard from the person next to you? Oh, you guys were just talking about business? Quick. Somebody say what somebody heard. Or did I cut you off too soon? Yes, Avantika and Balaram. May we borrow a mic, please, for the front? Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Okay,
Hare
Avantika.
Krishna. So Arman and I were talking about the fourth point, cultivating habit patterns, taking you to your goals. We were talking about the regular routines we have in our days. And one thing I brought up was that the first one, program your life or be programmed. There's a quote that says, run the day or let the day run you. So if you don't actively create habits related to maybe sadhana or more mode of goodness habits, then you'll just be subjected to your daily routines.
Wow, that's nice. And what did she tell you? Or what was your point? Or was that a collective point? Okay, Balaram for the close.
Sadhu and I were talking about how he liked the one about defining your soundtrack, and he realized, or he saw that in his friends, how their consciousness would change with different types of sound. And from that, he understood that by having transcendental sound, we can change the way our life goes.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, everyone, for sharing. Sharing means caring. And now we have the best event of the day, or maybe the week or month. It's a Hare Krishna dance festival. Are you ready? No, you're not. You're not ready. Are you ready? This is time to dance. Never miss a chance to dance. We're going to put away all the seats, roll up this carpet, move everything out of the way so you can dance freely. Express yourself. Open your heart before Krishna, and you can chant the Maha Mantra. Vanchakalptaruscha kripasindhavesha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Be a kind friend to all living beings. Hare Krishna.
His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jurmati samsara bitare Mao Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. It's all you. Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Gauravani Pracharine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu Nityananda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Got a banger. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody, last chant. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Shubhat Paramhamsa Privrajakachachastu Tarashti Shimad Vai Charana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swayama Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It's okay to stand if you wish. You can stay standing. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Privrajakachachastu Tarashti Shimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Anant Koti Vaishnavini Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Praise the Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Dvaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gokopina Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Sri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shrimati Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Sambeta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to some devotees. All glories to some devotees. All glories to some devotees. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Namaste Narashivaya. Namaste Narashivaya. Vyasa Shingdev Bhagavan ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki, Jai Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We welcome you all to the Sunday Feast Festival here at ISKCON of Silicon Valley. So let's give a big round of applause to everyone who has joined us tonight here. Haribo. We'll also like to thank all our online viewers. So let's give them a big round of applause as well. Haribo. Today's discourse was on the 5 pillars of freedom, and this was brought to us by His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu. So let's express our gratitude and thank him for the class. Haribo! We'll also like to thank him for leading an ecstatic arti as well. So, Haribo! And Narsimha Arti was brought to us by Bhakti and Geeta Priya. So let's give her a big round of applause. Hari Haribo! We would also like to thank our broadcast team led by His Grace Charunimai Prabhu. So let's thank him for broadcasting the program. Hari Haribo! Anyone coming here for the first time to the ISKCON of Silicon Valley or second time? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We have few guests, and we have an honored guest, here, His Grace Ashraya, Madhav Ashraya, Bhagwat Ashraya Prabhu, and Sarva Mangala Mataji. So we welcome you all. Thank you for visiting us and giving us your mercy here at ISKCON of Silicon Valley. So let's give them a big round of applause and thank them. Hari 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 Bol! Hari 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 Bol! Hari 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 Bol! And we also like to thank all our other newcomers, and let's give everyone one round of Mahamantra. Let's chant one round of Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you again for coming. If you have any questions or if you could be of any assistance, please reach out to me. My name is Sri Gopal Das or Sachindra Prabhu. You will see him at the serving table. Hare Krishna. And what's coming up? We have an exciting event that's coming up, and Hansapriya Mataji will give us what's coming up this week.
Hare Krishna. Are you all ready to hear what's coming up? Okay. And I know you all want to feel connected to Krishna, and the best way to feel connected to Krishna is through our Guru, right? So how deepening our faith in Guru is also how to hear about his glories through his disciples. So what we have is upcoming is His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu's Vyasa Puja ceremony on this Saturday morning. It is beautiful blessing of Srila Prabhupada that we have Vaisesika Prabhu at the community, and actually you will all have sensed it and felt it. So let's come together and celebrate that event. We will begin at 6:15 in the morning with the japa session, and we will have the program. Vyasa Puja ceremony starts at 8 a.m. sharp. We are also going to have a lot of devotees come from probably all over the world, and we want to request that we make them feel welcome, and maybe make them feel home. So if we need to give them a space, we're going to make these announcements more often now. So we are raising awareness so we can give them a space, we can share, we can also use our privilege to take care of them, make them feel home, to give all the love that we have received. What Vaisesika Prabhu says, it's not what we do, it's how we do it, right? So that's our day to exercise how we do it, right? Okay, so let's come together and celebrate wonderful festival. ISV is all about celebrating. So as a team ISV, let's have another celebration Saturday, and then Sunday. The Sunday we're going to have initiation ceremony. Please look out for the timing, and more details to come in the ISV Connect as well as ISV General. If you have any questions, we'll be outside. And one last thing, those who have pledged the books for the Badr Purnima, please come forward, take your set, give it to others, because guess what? We have to leave to give starts right after this weekend. So you have to take more sets after this one. So start looking out who you're going to give it out to, right? Who would be very much appreciating of this knowledge that you have received, the love you have received. So it's time to start thinking how to give the love you have received, okay? So collect your set, and if you have pledged, please make the payment. There will be a table outside. There is a e-hundi, there is a Malini, Sri Gopal Prabhu. There are many other book distributors out in the parking lot. We can help. And Tarun Prabhu is there to load up in your car. So you don't have to do anything. You just have to give your credit card and open up your trunk. That's all. Simple to process, okay? If after eating too much, if you can remember, just remember two things. Empty your wallet and open your trunk. Hare Krishna.
So we have one sponsor for today's Sunday feast, and they requested us to be anonymous. So they are sponsoring in the memory of Mataji's father-in-law and Prabhu's father, of course, and in honor of the father-in-law and the father. So let's thank them for sponsoring today's feast. So Haribol. So let's chant one Mahamantra for them. Okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now we have announcement from our youth team. Are you ready? Okay. All right.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So if you have heard of the name Youth Jam, you know that we have a program every Saturday and Sunday. Saturdays we have an online program that starts at 3 p.m. PST, and we just have a welcome video that you can look at one of the screens to see.
Hare Krishna.
What is Youth Jam? It's a time for youth to come together and see one another doing great, to encourage one another. We meet online, we meet in person, and we mix it up. We have Kirtan. We have hearing and chanting. We have games and we have fun.
Ready?
Vamana.
It's a great place to make new friends and also to learn about Krishna consciousness in the association of like-minded people who are your peers.
Youth Jam is fantastic.
Welcoming.
Enlivening.
Helpful, uplifting, and fun.
Youth Jam is wholesome. Hare Krishna, Youth Jam is such an amazing way to get the association of devotees and other youths who go through similar life experiences as us. We can relate to them and learn from them, get closer to Krishna together. We also have the presence of such an amazing personality like Gurudev there to support us, and with each other's association and with his association, our Bhakti Lata bees is able to flourish.
Hare Krishna, I love joining Youth Jam because I get to interact with so many unique individuals around the world who share some of the same values as me. You get to learn a lot from other people and from yourself. And then we get to go listen to presentations that other people have. We do like Shastra readings, and it really helps me dive deep into the Shastra, and it's really fun, and I really recommend you join Youth Jam.
Come join us and be part of this great revolution. We see it expanding all over North America and the world. Hare Krishna. Youth Jam.
From the video, as you saw, we had youth from all different. We had youth from all different ages. So if you're interested, you can reach out to myself or any of the youth to get involved. Marge, do you have any words? Hey, well.
So this is throughout the world?
Yes, it's also for youth for all over the world. We have joiners from India, England, America. So any part of the world, if you're interested, you can join us. We also have an exciting event coming up later this year in December. A lot of youth are going on yatra to Calcutta and Mayapur, and it's an excellent opportunity for all of us to get engaged in hearing, chanting, and really getting connected to the essence of all of what we're learning here in temple and apply it to our lives. It's a very special place, and there's a lot to take away from being there. So that's also coming up, and you can reach out to Shigo Mahaprabhu, or you can reach out to me if you're interested. Hey, love.
So now we have cooks to be announced. Pooja will do the honors for announcing the cooks.
Hare Krishna. Today's cooking was led by Neela Chachandra Mataji, and the cooks were Divya Drishti Mataji, Divya Kumari Mataji, Harita Mataji, Mayank Prabhu, Siddhakata Prabhu, Bhumika Mataji, Tatya Seva Prabhu, Theo Prabhu, Samba Krishna Das Prabhu, and Nitai Kirtan. Thank you.
So now if we'll go to the Prasad Sevaya prayers.
There's a beautiful prayer in Bengali. How many Bengalis are here? Ami Mangalamoli. This prayer is a glorification of prasadam, foodstuff, which is Krishna's mercy to us. And it says that the senses are very difficult to control. And of all the senses, the tongue is the most difficult. But by taking prasad, we can conquer the tongue. What yogis take 10,000 years to do in controlling their senses, we'll do tonight itself. Here by taking the Lord's prasad. Everyone who thinks this is a good idea, let's sing along. Shari Dasi Jaja Jorendriya Kahe Kaha Jive Pele Vishaya Sagare Dhamma Devi Vayati Loba Krishna Boro Doyamo Shori Bare Chukwaja Shapsha Nadi Loba Shayana Mitapa Radha Krishna Gunagao Premedako Shri Chaitanya Ikai Mahasakare Gopinde Namakam Gita Ishtabe Sapa Punya Madhangadhan Vishase Nagajaya Visari Sarva Tikana Maya Sudajayante Vatsanake Sarjatu Paya Sutaya Pavitra Saganda Asivankar Sartikaha Ukita Govina Dasa Ramamaya Devahi Bhagavat Shri Mahaprasaraki Gaura Premanande Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo come take prasadam.